So today onwards, we are going to look at the programming. So in this particular case, we are going to look at programming in grade 9. So what we have done so far is sequence and selection. If we start with the selection, now for example, here we will look at tossing a coin. අපිට coin එකක් උඩ දාන එක කාසියක් උඩ දාන එක කතා කරලා පුළුවන්. එතකොට අපි ගැලීම් සටහන් කියලා කතා කරා. We talk about the flow charts. So in a flow chart you can say start. ආරම්භ කරන්න පුළුවන්. You toss a coin and then depend on that you are going to take different paths. So this diamond shaped block will show you you are checking whether it's a head. මේ block එකේදී අපි බලනවා මේකේ මොකද්ද head එකද වැටෙන්නේ කියලා. So there are two paths. One is yes, one is no. If it is yes, we know that show is a head, otherwise it's tail, right? So if I going to show you this, mama scratch out of the log. So I'm going to start with the scratch. So we'll start with scratch and then we will say create. So I'm going to start with the new project. So let me start with the selection. Right? And then depend on the value, we are going to make the decision. Now this is what we are going to do. So if I go exactly the program given, the selection is here. So selection, we have if statements, we discussed this earlier as well. So depending on what we are going to receive, right? Depending on what we are going to receive, we are going to do something. So in this particular case, so we are going to look at, we are going to check whether the whatever the side landed, we are going to check whether it's a head. Right? Now here slide landed is a variable. I hope you remember last time we create variables. If you go to this variables, let me create the variable name as side landed. So this will create a variable. Now variables we created to hold values. අපි මේ විචල්‍ය කියන ඒවා හැදුවේ පුතේ අකයන් තියාගන්න. ඒතර මම හැදුවා දැන් side landed කියලා. Right now operators we have to check whether it's a head. So I'm going to check the operator here. Let me put it outside first. And then I'm going to go to the variable, the side landed. Right. The value that I'm going to compare whether it's a head. We put this value. So if the slide is landed is head, then I'm going to say head. Right? So I'm going to say head. Otherwise, if it is not head, then you know that it's the other way around. අපි දන්නවා උඩ පැත්ත නෙමෙයි නම් කාසි යට පැත්තේ ඉන්නේ head එක නෙමෙයි නම් tail එක. So we'll get the tail. So So this is the selection part. Now for this, now we have to get what is the side landed. So we have to ask a question, right? So remember last time we discussed, we are going to ask a question. So I'm going to ask, okay, so what slide did land? What side did it land on, right? And then you give an answer and the answer will be stored here, right? We also discussed this. Answer එක පුතේ මේක store වෙනවා කියන එක අපි කලින් කතා කරා. ඒතර මේ answer එක අපි දා ගන්න ඕනේ මේ which slide landed කියන එක අපි variables වලට ගියොත්. So we have to set this. I'm going to do this, set this. Right, I will put answer. Now we have completed from here. What did the land on? Right. So if I click it, what the side it land on, let me say head. When you say okay, enter, it says, so I have to check the value here. So let me check, I think it should be the string value. Let me put it and see whether I'm going to get this. What side is land on? Okay, so I have to put this side landed. So this is where the problem. Let me start. Now it should work. I think you don't have to, right? When you click it, yes, what side? Let me put head. So it will save for 2 seconds, right? It says head, 2 seconds, and it vanishes, right? Now we can start putting some messages. So in this particular case, you are going to display this message. Toss the coin. So this will be displayed for 2 seconds. So display, and then we can have on top of it the clicking right now. So this is a complete program. So when we click this flag, happy me flag click karnakota, it says toss of the coin for 2 seconds, and then it will ask what side did it land on, and whatever the answer we have given is stored inside landed variable. And then the selection, we are going to check whether the value is head, right? So let me run first, right? It says toss the coin, then it will ask what side did it on. So I'm going to say it's head, and it says, okay, the output is head. Now let me run one more time. Toss the coin. Okay, this time I'm going to say tail. Then it says tail. If you didn't type head and if you type anything else, you are going to get tail anyway. හරිද පුතේ? එහෙනම් අපි මෙතනදී කතා කරා කොහොමද තේරීමක් කියන එක අපි ස්ක්‍රැච් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකේදී පෙන්නන්නේ කියන එක. right. හොඳයි. මේක අපි ඇතරම කලින් grade 8 වලදී කතා කරපු ටිකම තමයි. මතක තියාගන්න ඕන දේ තමයි when we talk about this condition අපි මේකට කියන කොන්දේසියක් කියලා. It could be yes or no. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි කියන true හරි false හරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Or else we say it's අපි කියන සත්‍ය හෝ අසත්‍ය කියන එක තමයි මෙතනදී එන්නේ. right? So this is called simple selection. Right. Now in selection there could be like a lot of options, right? Lot of options. Let me say like this. Now for this I'm going to give you a nice example. We'll start with getting temperature value of water. There are some different status in water. වතුර ගත්තම පුතේ එක ස්ටේටස් තියෙනවා. උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අපි අංශක ගාන බිඳුවට වඩා අඩුයි නම් අපි කියනවා ඒක අයිස් විදිහට තියෙන කියලා. බිඳුවත් 100ත් අතර නම් අපි දන්නවා පුතේ ඒක තියෙන්නේ වෝටර් විදිහට වතුර විදිහට. එතනින් එහාට ගියම 100ට වඩා වැඩි වුණොත් අපි දන්නා ඒක හුමාලය කියලා. So let's see whether we could use this, right? Now for this I'm going to use again a Scratch වැඩසටහනක් මම ගන්න යනවා. මම මේකේ අලුත් එකක් ගන්න file new. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the temperature value, right? So how do you get the temperature? We go to sensing and we'll ask, okay, what is the temperature? Right. I'm going to ask this question first. Temperature kiyada කියලා අපි වතුර water states තමයි හොයන්නේ යන්නේ. Now the question is, depend on this value answer, we are going to get different states. එතකොට දැන් මේකට අපි variable එකක් මුලින්ම create කරගෙන යමු. So I'm going to create a variable called temperature. Right, temperature කියලා මම විචාරයක් පොතේ හදා ගන්නවා. Now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to assign. මම assign කරනවා temperature කියන එක මේ දෙන උත්තරේට. So I'm getting an answer here. ඒ උත්තරේ දාගන්න temperature කියන විචාරයට. Now this is what I'm going to do, right? When we have, let's say, temperature, so I'm going to say check temperature, and depending on the temperature I'm going to put different states. So if it is less than 0, I know that the state of water is in ice. If it is between 0 to 100, then it's water. If it is greater than 100, we know that it's steam, right? So this is what I'm trying to use. So, right, this is what I'm going to use here. Now, first of all, for this we need the selection. After selection, so I'm going to go to control structures, right? මෙතනදී අපි control structures වලට යනවා. එතකොට මේ control structures වල අපි යන්නේ if එකට. අපි මෙන්න මෙහෙම ගන්නවා. right. මොකද ඉස්සෙල්ලම බලන්න මේ ගත්ත temperature එක අපිට ඕන තැනකින් පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. මම ඉස්සෙල්ලම අහන බිඳුවට අඩුයිද කියලා. So we go to operators. We are going to check the condition. I'm going to check whether this temperature variable is less than 0. So if the temperature is less than 0, I told you the state is ice. So I'm going to say ice. So I'm going to say ice. Yes, it's ice. If not, then බිඳුවට අඩු නැත්නම් ඒ කියන්නේ බිඳුව හෝ ඊට වැඩි නම් then we go to else part. ඒකේ තව දෙකක් තියෙනවා. මොනවාද? එක water වෙන්න පුළුවන්, එක steam වෙන්න. So it could have been water or steam. So that means you have to have another selection, right? So for that I'm going to go, I will get another selection within this. Now you see everything, right? Now within this, now we have to ask another two questions. First of all, now we here ask whether temperature is less than 0. බිඳුවට වඩා අඩුයිද කියලා අපි අහුවා. අඩුයි නම් අපි කියව ice කියලා. අඩු නැත්නම් then we are going to look at whether the temperature is right. We can check. Then we know that when it comes here, it's either 0 or more. So we are going to check whether it's less than or equal to 100, right? So let me check this. I'm going to get a variable again. I'm going to check whether the temperature so the temperature value I'm going to get whether this temperature value is less than 100. So I'm going to get this temperature. I'm going to check whether it's 100. Now if it is less than 100, we know that it's water. So we can say it's water. Let's say water. Otherwise, we are going to say, yes, that's the last one, steam. So I will repeat from the beginning. So we are going to request temperature here. We'll get the answer. We store the inner variable called temperature. And if it is less than 0, then we are going to say ice. Otherwise, then we have another two choices to make. So we have to get another selection. We will check whether the temperature less than 100. If so, it's water. Otherwise, steam. Right. To complete this, we are going to put the control events. We'll put click. Now let's start. So I'm going to start click. So it asks what is the temperature value. Let me put -5. So if I put -5, we know that the temperature should be, yes, it's the state of water should be ice. අපි දැන් අපොතේ -5යි කියලා දුන්නොත් ඒක බිඳුවට වඩා අඩුයි. ඒ කියන්නේ ice කියන தත්ත්වය තමයි ඉන්න ඕනේ. So we put -5 and then when I press enter, you will see the output is ice. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතනදී check කරන temperature මම දුන්නේ -5 බිඳුවට වඩා අඩුයිද කියලා බැලුවා. ඔව් එහෙනම් ice කියලා display. Now let me rerun this. I'm going to rerun this. I click on the flag. So this time I will put, let's say 25. Now see what will happen. අපි 25 දුන්නාම when we say 25, the answer is 25 stored in temperature. I'm checking whether the temperature is less than 0. No. So you come to the else part. And then 25, you check whether it's less than 100. Yes, then it says water. So this is exactly what will happen. So it says water. Then if I rerun it, let me say this time I'm going to say 105. So now what will happen? Any guesses? What will happen? Yes. So you get 105 and it stores temperature. You check whether it's less than 0. No. You go to else part. And then I'm going to check whether it's less than 100. No, which means it's 100 and more. It's steam, right? So we'll get like this. Okay, good. හොඳයි පුතේ මම හිතන පොඩි එක්සර්සයිස් එකක් දෙනවා. මට ඕනේ this time like in previous I want you to create a scratch program, right? මේකෙදි බලන්න ලකුණු ගන්න. මෙන්න මෙහෙම එන්න ඕන. මට එන්න marks grade. ළමයිගේ ලකුණු ගන්නවා විෂයක ලකුණු, right? So in this one, if the marks is, let's say, greater than 75, you are going to say the grade is A. And if it is greater than, let's say, 65 to 74, it's B. Then 55 to 64, it's C. Then 40 to 54, it's S. And if it is less than 40, we are going to say W. ළමයිගේ ලකුණු ගන්න. ලකුණු දුන්නහම ඒක 75ට වැඩි නම් A. ඊට පස්සේ 65යි 74 නම් B. 55යි 64යි අතර නම් C. 40යි 54 අතර නම් S. 40ට වඩා අඩුයි නම් W. right මම දන්න සමහර අය ෆෝන් එකේ කියලා සමහරට ඔයාලට කරන්න බැරි වෙයි පොතේ බලන්න try කරන්න. So the others, those who are going to use computers, can you do this and send me a WhatsApp screenshot of what you have done? පටන් ගමුද අපි පුතේ එහෙනම්? Okay, let's start. හොඳයි අපි බලමු පොතේ උත්තරේ ඩිස්කස් කරමු. දැන් මේකෙදි මම කිව්වා අපි ලකුණු තමයි ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා. අපි අලුත් එකක් ගන්න new. Okay. ලකුණු දීලා ලකුණු ගන්න ඕනේ. ලකුණු 75ට වැඩි නම් A 65යි 74 නම් B. right. එහෙනම් අපි මුලින්ම ලකුණු ඉල්ලමු. Right. We are going to request marks first. හරි. I'm going to ask enter your marks. හරි. ලකුණු ඉල්ලනවා. දැන් ඉල්ලපුවාම මේ ලකුණු දුන්න ප්‍රමාණය අපි විචල්යකට ගන්න ඕනේ කියන එක මම හිතන පොතකට දැන් පැහැදිලි වෙන්න ඕනේ. So I'm going to go to a variable. I'm going to create a variable marks. Marks variable එක තියෙනවා. So I'm going to set marks to the answer I got from previous. Right. Then we have to make selections. So let's go to our selection first. What we want to check whether the marks is greater than 75. I'm going to check this whether the marks is greater than 75. So I'm going to check this marks. If it is greater than 75, we know what to do. So we will check whether the marks is greater than 75. If that is the case, we know that we have to say the value as A. Now else part will be if it is not greater than 75. එතකොට පොතේ මෙතනදී අපි ලකුණු ගත්තා. එන උත්තරේ මාක්ස් කියලා විචල්යකට දාගත්තා. අපි චෙක් කරනවා මාක්ස් 75ට වැඩිද කියලා. 75ට වැඩි නම් අපි දන්නවා ඒක A තමයි කියන්නේ. ඔප්පේ මේක ඩිස්කනෙක්ට් වෙයි. ඩිස්කනෙක්ට් වුණොත් අපි අලුත් එකකින් පටන් ගමු. ඒකෙම log වෙන්න. So when we say A greater than 75, else means අපිට අනික ඕන එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි else පාටට ගිහපුවම අපි දන්නවා මේ 75ට වැඩි නැත්නම් එහෙනම් ඔව් 75 ඕ ඊට අඩුයි කියන එක. එහෙමනම් මෙතනදී greater than or equal කියන්න බෑ. 70